We are born for greatness. Every man under the sun grows up harboring secrets, ambitions, to be someone and to do something outstanding with their lives. And greatness awaits. Author and motivation speaker Natsi shares with you principles and nuggets that are designed to empower you to arise with confidence and unleash the greatness within solutions. Natsi's mandate in life is twofold: to make people know God, and secondly, to make people know who they are in God. Natsi serves as an overseer with Faith Ministries and is married to Cynthia, and together they are proud parents to Kyla, Tamika, and Munatsi Joseph. They live in Harare, Zimbabwe. He is best known as a leader with a pastor's heart and is often best described as a man with a great passion for young people. As a communicator, he's known for his refreshing, down-to-earth style that combines humor, strategic, and insight into timeless principles that make greatness in life. A mentor and life coach to many, he is the founder of a youth movement called This and That has had opportunity to impact countless youthful hearts through its radio program. He is also passionate in adding value to the corporate world through strategic leadership and team building. He does this through Tamika Business Solutions.
Self-expectation, envisioning for greatness. The power of expectation. Your expectation is the evidence of your vision. In other words, what you have envisioned in your future should be consistent of what you're expecting in the present. I've observed that in life, great things do not necessarily happen where they are needed, but they happen where they're expected. One of the key challenges that I want to give you is to stay in the post of expectation of the things you want to see happen in your life. Activate your faith, infuse yourself with optimism until your expectation become an obsession. It is easy to confuse expectation with wishing. Wishing is not expectation. Expectation is a mental posture that activates a visionary passion in your heart, thereby causing you to muscle energy to focus on your goals. Expectation involves staying focused towards what you desire to see coming to pass and holding the picture of possibility in your mind until it comes to pass. Expectation is desire plus discipline minus distraction. Charles Kettering wisely quipped, high achievements take place in the framework of high expectation. People go through life defeated because they once expected great things, but when they fail to achieve them, they gave up hope. Expectation is the fuel of hope, and hope is the anchor of vision. The day you stop expecting, you can be rest assured that your life will stop progressing towards your ideal vision. By the nature of my work, I get to interact with a lot of people. More than once, I have once spoken to people who felt there was no reason for them to live, and the thought of suicide had become an attractive option for them to escape from the vicissitude of life. Every time I speak to these kinds of people, all I try to do is to bring them to a place of hoping again and expecting again. The moment you see life through the lenses of expectation, the rays of hope begin to shine into your soul and suddenly recapture a vision of a better future. They begin with a spring in their step and they are ready to go and conquer the world. For you to live an empowered and fulfilled life, you will need to master the art of staying motivated and expectant of great things. Don't allow life to chain you in the state of negative expectation, but to use positive expectation to change your life for the better. Expectations are like magnet. They draw what you expect. Author and renowned personal development expert Mr. Brian Tracy once said, an attitude of positive expectation is a mark of a superior personality. Your state of personhood is greatly determined by the level of your expectation. When you begin to expect great things, you begin to feel great about yourself. Mindset and lifestyle. The wise man Solomon was a great thought leader. He once said concerning thinking that a man will become a product of his thinking. Your current lifestyle is a perfect reflection of your present mindset. You can't change the way you live until you first change the way you think. God created you with the ability to think. Man has a mind that is unique from other animals. Everything you see in the world today was once an idea in a man's mind. This goes on to show that our minds hold great power, which if activated and rightly channeled can create powerful results. One of the great things that you have to allow your mind is to generate expectations, innovations, and new creations. You need to configure your mind for positivity and proactivity so that you can achieve the great things that you're created to achieve. Going through life without getting thorough with how you use your mind is cheating yourself out of the great life. Africa was colonized by many colonial masters. One of the strategies that they used was to greatly influence the thinking of the nations that they intended to colonize and dominate. Things have not changed much. In our generation, media plays a great role in colonizing and shaping the mindsets of many people. This is why you see people dressing based on what they see on TV. I have observed something interesting under the sun. The difference between the wealthy and the poor is not the state of their pocket, but the state of their mindset. If you look intently at your life, you will discover that your upbringing has greatly influenced your state of mind and life today. No one grows above their mindset. There are crippling mindsets we pick up along the way that will affect our momentum and progress towards our destiny. Let us briefly look at some of the common crippling mindsets that people tolerate, which sentence them to a land of unachieved dreams and unrealized goals. Firstly, I don't have what it takes. I am weak. This is an excuse that many people use when they feel overwhelmed by life. It's possible to feel like you are not strong enough for the dream that is inside you. When you feel like this, there are two things you can do. You can either resign to fate and go through life feeling like a victim and feeling sorry for yourself, or you can go through life developing a mindset of a victor and the language of a winner. When you sit down and start counting the reasons why you can't achieve your dreams and obtain your goals, you engage your mind in developing excuses for failure. The moment you disempower your mind with these kind of thoughts, you actually allow your courage to disintegrate and your vision to become crippled. The momentum of your greatness is determined by the state of your mind. Dr. Mike Murdock says, your mind is the drawing board for tomorrow's circumstances. Every time you are tempted to give an excuse of why you can't get something done, realize that excuses weaken your mind while reasons strengthen the mind and inspire the heart. You are not created to go through life lamenting about weaknesses and complaining about inadequacies. You are fashioned to be a conqueror and created to be an overcomer. You must activate your mind with the vitamins of positive thinking so that when you feel weak, your mind will remind you how strong you are. As I was growing up, I struggled with the feelings of inferiority. People always reminded me how short I was in stature. This I interpreted as a sign of weakness. I had to find a way of dealing with my self-imposed weaknesses because my success in my assignment depended on it. I reminded myself that my strength was not supposed to be determined by how I looked, but it could be influenced by how I thought. I began to change my thinking and to culture myself to reason like a strong man with unlimited possibilities. Everything began to change because, as it is said, when your mind changes, everything changes. You can use your mindset to compensate every weakness that you may have in the natural. Your state of mind can literally transform your feelings of weakness into emotions of strength if you can just decide to think differently. I encourage you to be like David. Instead of thinking Goliath was too big, begin changing your thinking and realize that Goliath is actually too big for you not to miss. Number 2, I don't have what it takes. I am poor. If you were to listen to many people's reasons for not doing something great with their lives, you will hear them attributing it to lack of money. I have asked many individuals who had dreams of starting businesses, why haven't you started the business? The answer is always almostly predictable. I don't have capital. Poverty and lack are usually a reflection of the state of mind and not the state of the pocket. That is why it is said that a poor man's excuse is a wealthy man's reason. Many people falsely assume that the people who are great have a prosperity advantage. This kind of thinking causes them not to take steps towards their potential and dreams. Prosperity is not limited to having access to your financial resources. It is also about having the resourcefulness to utilize what you have to create what you want. To be a person of prosperity, you need to have a prosperous mind. A prosperous mind is a mind that is fertile with ideas and pregnant with possibilities. To have the mind that is bankrupt of possibilities is to be poor. Dr. Miles Monroe once said, the poorest man in the world is a man without a dream. You can develop a mind that is prosperous even without money in your pockets. The country of Dubai is an example that prosperity is not the function of the resources around you. Dubai used to be a desert, but the power of innovative thinking and the resourcefulness of the inhabitants turned it into a wonderland that is the hub today of global economic activities. Prosperity is therefore using what you have creatively to cultivate the avenues that could attract what you need. The man with a poor mind and a fat wallet will end up with a poor mind and a thin wallet, while the man with a prosperous mind and a thin wallet will end up attracting the resources and the wealth. In matters of prosperity, the state of your mind will always take you further than the state of your wallet. Number 3, I don't have what it takes. I don't have the right connections. Have you ever entertained the thought that you could be more if you had someone else to help you, or if you had the right connections? The Bible tells a story of a man who was sick for 38 years. Jesus approached the man and asked him a question. Do you want to be well? He answered and said, I don't have any man to help me. The interesting thing I've observed about this story is the fact that the man was asked the right question, but he responded with the wrong answer. It is possible to go through life hurt and embittered with the disloyal people of your past that you are unable to discern the positive people in your present. The people who didn't help you were not meant to have helped you. If you are holding grudges and harboring bitterness against them, you will miss out the joy of connecting with the new people who have the capacity to help you, to connect you to your new opportunities. It is not hard to have people to help you. The problem is that many people go through life with an entitlement mentality, thinking that it's their right to be helped. Humility and a disposition of gratitude will attract the right connections faster than complaining and thinking that life owes you something. You do not need many people to be great. You just need the right people. Sometimes we think that we need so many people to be great, when in reality, all you need is one right person to help us unlock the wisdom to our next level. The best way to position yourself for the right people is to be the right person and be busy with the right things. As you become purposeful in your present season and engage in your life with a sense of gratitude and servanthood, the right people will find their way into your life. Right people are not necessarily those who do things for you, but they are people who step into your life and enable you to do things right for yourself. Number 4, I don't have what it takes. I am not educated. Stop complaining about the certificates you wish you have had and start something with the knowledge you have. Education does not guarantee elevation. In the society we live in today, I have seen many educated people who are wrecking their lives with destructive behaviors. Have you ever wondered why a professor of health science would smoke himself to death, yet he knows that smoking kills? There is academic education and there is life wisdom. Having an education is good, but it's not all there is to life. I do not want to sound like I'm belittling education, but I do want you to understand that unless you apply that knowledge to achieve productive purposes, then the knowledge is literally useless. It would be like having a tank full of water, yet you are dying of thirst. I challenge you today to redefine what being educated means. Education is not just getting a certificate. It's about engaging in a lifestyle of lifelong learning and application to what you have learned. There is an old African proverb that has great wisdom. It states that little knowledge that acts is always better than a lot of knowledge that just intends to act. Do something with what you know and take action to know more than what you know. This is what education is all about. Stop complaining about the certificates you wish you have had and do something with the knowledge that you have. Elevation through empowered expectation. In the past years of my life, I've learnt many lessons. Most of the lessons have not been from the books I read, but from the experiences that I've gone through. I've experienced seasons that were tough, that I thought would tear my mind apart. Having gone through them, I now understand by hindsight that God was working something great for me. One of the great lessons that I've learnt is, it's not what happened to me that was important, but what happened in me that mattered. I've also learned that with the right attitude, I could turn the seasons of deprivation into opportunities of elevation. A wrong expectation in an adversarial season will ruin you and destroy you. Starting a pity party and feeling sorry for yourself will only make you become a victim of circumstances. Self-confidence and courage are the tickets to the winning zone of your life. These two depend on the expectation you choose to nurture. You must understand that developing an empowered expectation is a decision and not an emotion. Personally, I've gone through times that people literally surrounded me to encourage me to give up, not because they were bad people, but because they were feeling sorry for me considering the trials I was going through. Betrayal has been part of my life story. Some people I trusted held false accusations against me, and at some point, I felt so devastated to the point that I never wanted to trust any human beings again. Feelings of revenge stirred in me like a volcano awaiting eruption. This was until some words penned down by Nelson Mandela echoed in my mind. He had been imprisoned for rising up against apartheid at some point and almost became bitter. But the vision of being released from prison became a resounding possibility. That he said, if I don't leave bitterness in this cell, I will become a prisoner forever. That meant that despite the things that had been done to him, he had to make a decision whether that experience had to make him bitter or better. That understanding got me to a place where I took ownership of my life and how I was going to respond. I began to realize that if you meditate on wrong and evil, you will become toxic with bitterness. I discovered that it was up to me to pick myself up and start listening to the voice of value that inspired me towards a better future, and not to the voices of distraction that were there to derail me from the path of purpose. My focus began to change, and I began to realize that not everyone was against me. There were people around me who genuinely wished me well and had my best interest at their hearts. I also realized that nobody could make me inferior without my permission. This made me a free man. I escaped from the prison of unforgiveness, guilt, and low self-esteem. I got liberated when I made this decision that my expectation and my attitude were not going to be controlled by external situations, but by my internal convictions. To unlock an empowered expectation, there are 4 strategic aspects that I would like to encourage you to engage in that I did. Number 1, enlarge your vision. Without a vision, life becomes a burden. Dr. David Oyedepo said, if you can allow your mind to envision big picture, then and only will you be able to put the things in your life into perspective. As Pastor Bill Hebo says, a vision is a picture of your future that produces passion. You need to begin to develop your mind to spend time imagining positive things about your future. We settle for the status quo because we've limited our minds to that. I began to dream. The question you must ask yourself is, what is my vision and what do I see in the future? Number 2, expand your network. You have to make up your mind to engage and to relate with people who can help you to get where you want to go. The issue of seeing people as partners cannot be overemphasized. Growth is a result of stretching. As you expand your network, think about connecting with people who can inspire you and motivate you. Individuals who encourage you to stretch and expand yourself are always an asset in your circles. Number 3, exclude negative energy. To develop an empowered perspective, you also must monitor the energy that you allow in your environment. Energy is brought by the books you read, the programs you watch, and even the people you socialize with. Anything that influences your thinking determines your energy. This is why you need to weed out wrong people from your circle of intimate friends, because your greatness and survival of your dreams depends on it. Number 4, excavate positive reasons. You may also need to find great reasons and purposes that motivate you to do what you do. Positive reasons activate positive action. If, for example, your reason for wanting to be rich is so that you embarrass your enemies, you have a negative motive for desiring prosperity. But if your reason is to bless humanity, to educate the poor, to clothe the needy, and to impact society positively, then your reason will undergird your expectations. It will be easy to stay motivated and inspired.
Greatness awaits. What are you waiting for? This is your time. It's your time to rise. Be the best you were born to be. Rise up and shine. Greatness awaits. What are you waiting for? This is your time. It's your time to rise. This is your time. Rise up and shine. This is your time. Greatness awaits.
Greatness awaits team. Your solution to all your business resolutions.